We would have went clubbing on the Friday. And we left the store.
Celebrating.
We're like, fuck yeah, this is it. This is don't have to get a job ever again. We pretty much started losing money from like month number 2.
He flipped cars in high school, opened a froyo shop with no business plan, signed a 7-year lease he didn't understand, and lost $500,000 before he was 25. Today, Jordan Beh is one of Australia's top 5 mortgage brokers, writing over $500 million in loans last year.
We would go to work knowing we were going to lose money that day. In my first year, I wrote 88 million or something, where it was just me as a broker. Wow. And I had close to 20 admin staff. I bought an AMG.
Oh, no way.
Purely because I wanted to look like
you had the part.
I had the part. Things usually work out, you know, and if they don't work out, it's not the end.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Point 01. Today we have Jordan Beh, who is also my finance broker, but also at the same time an exceptional entrepreneur. And he's been an entrepreneur for a very, very long time, local based. And we have a very, very interesting story today because I have known of Jordan for over a decade, but we never really kind of touched base or really got to know each other on a personal sort of level until more recently when I started to get into the property game. But Jordan's very successful, very cool stuff that you've done over the years. And we both come from very similar places, like literally over a decade ago. So let's go for a quick introduction first. Who is Jordan? You are one of the best brokers in New South Wales or Australia?
Depends on how you view it.
Okay. Depends on how you view it. Okay. But you're in the top. You're definitely in the top.
We'd like to think so.
Yeah. Doing very, very well for your business. But let's give everyone an intro. Who is Jordan?
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Alan. Thank you for the plug, especially on the finance side. So, so I'm a mortgage broker by, I guess, definition. Been doing it circa... 9 years. 9 years.
Coming
up to a decade.
Almost a decade.
Almost a decade. Very simple business, to be honest. I don't think entrepreneur is I think entrepreneur would be an overstated term.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think
you have
so.
multiple angles, multiple kind of
People
like
come
channels.
to me, they need money, I get them the money. I don't think there's much creativity to that apart from maybe getting the job done. But compared to the type of stuff you're doing, I would say that's a lot more entrepreneurial than, say, I think we see ourselves as a service provider and we just try to be good at the service we provide.
Fair enough. We are very, very good. Very, very good service provider. It was actually very smooth as well working with you and your team. That's just personal experience as well. A lot of the times when we have the podcast, I draw on a lot of personal experience, especially if they're, friends or people that I know. It's good that I have real engagement, interaction with them. A lot of the times people come, they plug themselves, it's all marketing or whatever, right? Like none of these are paid for. These podcast episodes are all like literally good engagement with good stories, and that's what we want to talk about. But yeah, like you do a lot of things at the moment, and you're also partnered with another friend of ours, Jack, who is crushing, doing very, very good. So it's always good to see a bunch of young Aussies, doing very well. How old are you this year? You're still quite young.
37.
37, yeah, young as, right? And you've gone through multiple businesses.
A few.
What's the first business that you started?
First business. I classify this as my first business, even though I guess I didn't have a registered ABN and stuff.
Doesn't
Back
matter.
then, I didn't know what it was. But when I was young, I guess I always was quite into cars and things like that, like a lot of guys. And I realized you could make some money buying a car for value X and then selling it for X plus. So I did that.
So you flipped cars?
Flipped cars.
Oh, where'd you find the cars? There was no Facebook Marketplace back then to find the bombs that you find now.
The Gumtree. I don't know if Gumtree's
Gumtree's still around. Yeah, still around.
Yeah. So Gumtree, and I would essentially just buy a very stock standard like set of cars that I was looking for. So I used to really like Hondas and stuff. So I used to flip a lot of cheap Honda Civics.
Oh no way! When was this? High school, uni?
Just start. Oh, yeah, towards the end of high school. Yeah, towards the end of high school and probably just out of high school and then, throughout the uni days. Capital, I guess, was a bit low, so I couldn't buy, like, a nice expensive car and flip it, so it would normally be, like, sub 5.
Yeah.
Buy one or two of those and then, hopefully make a couple grand on it. And as a percentage return on cash was really good. Plus, cars, I think, were seen as a depreciating asset. So the capital you get when you resell it, you don't really pay tax. And back then, I think the rules were a bit more loose. Now I think there's regulation, like you can only have so many
I think you
cars
can only
sold.
flip so many, and then you have to get a dealer license or something.
Yes, I think I probably did like 40 a year.
Wow.
40, 50 a year. So there was a decent volume going through. And I didn't have like a license. I didn't have an ABN. I was just parked along the street. My partner at the time, she lived in an apartment complex.
Yeah.
There was like all these visitor spots.
Yeah, you
And
just
at
took them
one
all.
I took them all. I had like
You're that dickhead that takes all the visitor spots.
I had like 15 at a time, and usually they were the same car. So you'd see like
There's all these Accord Euros.
yeah. Accord Euro was a bit out of the price point, so like
Yeah.
much cheaper, but yeah, you just kind of see, the same car, bit different color,
Yeah.
and a few of those. And sometimes I don't drive them, so they just kind of sit there. So that was probably the first thing I did. Then, as part of that hobby of cars, I realized storing cars was a bit of a pain in the ass because you could only have so many before neighbors start complaining. So then I realized on one of the cars I had, a personal car I had, it was a Subaru WRX, and I wanted to change the wheels on the car, and I resold the wheels that were on the car for a price on like eBay or something, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can't believe you can make this much. And one of the wheels I had was like gutted, and I wanted to essentially sell a set of 4 that were in good condition. So I went online and I bought a wheel for like a fraction of the price of a quarter, right? So let's say the whole set was $2,000. You'd expect one to be 500, but when you buy them individually, some people sell them for like $100.
Yeah.
So I was like, like if I can pick 4 for $100 each,
Put them together.
package it up, sell it for
Oi.
$2,000. So then what I did was I started buying vans. Because like I'd only need like 2 or 3 vans, but then I'd stock wheels inside the vans.
Oh, wow.
So then I'd go on eBay, or Gumtree, look for these specific wheels. Sometimes people have 2, sometimes people have 3. They're missing the 4th.
Yeah.
So I'd start buying stuff like that, put them into the back of the van, and then package it up and on sell it. And then I built this relationship with this guy who like did like spray painting and stuff. So he would like touch it up, make sure they look all good, sand down the rashing, repaint it.
Yeah.
And I'd sell that at a massive premium. And so that was, I guess, what I then did next. Again, that all came from, I just wanted to drive a nice car that I wanted to drive. And then this kind of was just like a way to fund the upgrades of the cars, I guess, I wanted to move along with.
Yeah.
So I would say probably that was the first thing I did.
And you're telling me you're not entrepreneurial, but here you are like finding shit boxes and you're finding like scrap wheels and you're putting together, turning them into packages. That's definitely entrepreneurial,
Nah,
bro.
I don't think it is. It's
For
just-
sure, man.
It's not-
That's so like that's such hustle mentality.
Hustle maybe. Yeah, hustle maybe. And then, I guess then the next business, which I would say is a proper business, which unfortunately probably didn't do as well as I probably should have just stuck to buying some wheels. But that was, I guess, the froyo thing. So I think...
Were you around Hurstville at that time? Did you live around the area?
Yeah, I grew up in Hurstville.
Oh, you grew up in Hurstville? Okay, cool.
And this is how not entrepreneurial I am. I opened the shop
in Hurstville.
in my backyard because that's what I knew. I didn't look elsewhere, right? So, so I think I was going through uni. I had a bit of cash saved up from the cars and all of that type of stuff. And I think I never really wanted to like join that corporate world. Like when I was a bit younger, I had like a job, like waitering, like all the kind of stuff that
Typical
young
stuff,
people do. I got a job as a teller at a bank. That was probably like my first proper like 9 to 5. I was just counting cash, giving cash to people and stuff. So it wasn't very fulfilling.
At
wasn't very
Hurstville
enjoyable.
Combank?
No, it wasn't Combank. It was St. George down south, like Caringbah area.
Oh, Caringbah, yeah.
So I did that for a little while. That was like whilst I was in uni as well. And then I realized, look, this is probably not where I see myself in, 10, 20, 30 years. And then, I guess the shop that I met you at, Noggy and what's it called?
There was Noggy. What else was
Moochie.
it? Moochie was there.
Yeah, in
and Yogurt Berry.
Strathfield, right?
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
Strathfield,
yeah.
it was cranking. And we went there really initially as consumers. And we would line up, and like the lines were ridiculous.
It was massive back then.
It was like
around
1
that
hour.
corner and Noggy, if people remember, it used to go all the way
Yeah,
around.
exactly. I remember,
Yeah.
like all the way through to the car park,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And then it was so slow because the shop had like 2 machines
Yeah.
and like 2 people serving. And I was like, man, surely this product can't be that hard to replicate or
Correct.
some sort, right?
It was like meant to be Korean or something back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah. And they did so well, like those guys that entered early. And then I was like, okay, well, this sounds like a good idea. This looks like a good idea. It looks like a pretty simple business. And we just essentially took the capital, went and did some research, like how do we get the product? What do we need for the machines? And I guess we did it. So we, rather than going through the franchise model, which we probably should have in hindsight, we're like, we can give this a crack. We'll brand up. We'll create something. We bought out a lease from like a bubble tea shop. We did zero research on the market.
Beautiful.
We did zero research on the product. We just found the product. We tasted it. It tasted good. We didn't really do any kind of comparisons. We did zero research on the machines. We bought the best machines money could buy at the time. So we bought the equivalent that McDonald's would use.
Yeah.
And we're like, look, if we throw enough cash at this, surely it'll just work itself out.
Yeah.
And I thought it did at one stage. Like we opened on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and then we sold out.
Yeah.
Probably because I just had a lot of friends that were very supportive rather than actual.
What was the brand called? What was the brand called? So everyone remember. Was it Berry Blitz?
Very Blitz.
Yeah, Berry Blitz. I still remember.
That's it.
Berry Blitz. And it was in Hurstville, Westfield, next to the food court, right?
No, it was at Hurstville train station next to the food
Oh, I thought Hurstville. Yes, that's right. Hurstville train station. And then another one opened inside of Hurstville, Westfield.
Yeah.
Next to the food
yeah,
court.
so when we started it, there was none in Hurstville.
Yes.
Not when we started. When we started looking into it, there was none in Hurstville. By the time we closed, there was 9 in Hurstville.
Yeah, correct. There was Noggy up near the small car park, and then there was Yogaberry down near the train station.
Yeah.
Then there was the new one in Westfield that was opening, still hadn't opened yet, and then you guys opened, I think.
Yeah, and a bunch of coffee shops started selling it.
Yeah.
And like, it wasn't just like froyo shops anymore, because like every single shop that had some type of space and ability to sell it started selling it, right?
It's just like acai now. Everyone's selling acai.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
Exactly. And there was very little differentiation, right? And so when we looked into it, we're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to copy what Noggy and Moochie did in Strathfield. We'll buy the best stuff we can afford, and we'll hope for the best, right? And we had zero, there was no business plan, there was no financial forecasting. A lot of stuff I guess I kind of know now because of what I do for work. I wish I knew back then. So when we actually opened, we sold out the first few days, and we hired a bunch of like 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
You hired some of my friends, I know.
Which I'm still friends with today, some of them. And we went, I still remember this. We opened, say, on Wednesday, and we would have went clubbing on the Friday. And we left the store.
Celebrating. Woo.
We're like, fuck yeah, this is it. This is don't have to get a job ever again. This is going to pay for the rest of my life. I'm set, right? And so we went out clubbing on the Friday. We left the store essentially to be run by like 15-year-olds with no job experience. No previous like history of like, we just hired them off like. And this is also how an experience worked. I put the ads on Gumtree. I didn't use like a professional job site, right? And then then slowly we started to get some feedback. So my partner at the time, she would work in the store very, very long hours, like 5 a.m. till like 10 p.m. or something, because we did coffees in the morning. Yeah, you would know, right? And then cleaning those machines are a pain in the ass. They take ages.
Almost. It takes almost an hour to clean
right? Because of the product.
You got to run it all through. You got to clean it, sanitize, take each part out, wash every single part. Oh,
when you buy the machine, they don't tell you
I was always on close. I was the close shift, so I know exactly that process.
And because it's a sensitive product, like if you don't do it right, people get sick.
Correct.
So
it's important. It's a very important step.
Very important. And so then we started getting feedback from customers. They're like, oh, we came to your shop. There was no one there, but we could see someone in uniform smoking on the balcony. And I was like, well, that's not good. And we didn't even have cameras, so I couldn't even check. I was like, oh shit, we better like start to like pay a bit more attention. And then the feedback became more consistent. And I think by the time we picked it up, it was like a couple months in. And I think the damage had been done. Like First impression, as you know, is very important.
Yeah.
The Hurstville market is only so large, and then within that Hurstville market, people that wanted the product was quite a small piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Plus, then when you've got so many competitors, it was a very small market that we were trying to obtain, right? Hurstville, as you know, is very Chinese orientated.
Correct.
Very health conscious. Like they're not looking at stuff like desserts as a top priority.
Yeah.
So when we started getting all this feedback and realized we had kind of ruined the first shot of a client willing to give us a shot, and like the repeat business then became very hard. And in short, we pretty much started losing money from like month number 2.
Wow.
But what I also didn't realize at the time is when you sign a lease agreement, it's quite a serious document.
It is proper. You can't just bail. And I don't think a lot of people know this in business.
I didn't know this. I heard, if you set up a company, something goes wrong, you just walk away. You
just fold it and you just walk away. It's
I
all
set up
good.
a new company.
Yeah. You can just Phoenix, right?
Yeah, I was like, that's it. I didn't know what a personal guarantee was. We didn't get proper legal advice.
Yeah.
We literally just signed. We were so excited to open the business. We felt like we won the lottery by the landlord giving us the lease.
And because it was such a good location on paper as well, like train station.
Yeah, and what we also didn't realize was Percival train station are essentially part of Centre Group, which are...
Westfield as well, right? Yeah.
And Westfield know what they're doing, right?
Yeah, of course. They got deadly leases.
So that's the lease we signed without legal advice.
Mm-hmm.
So we signed like a 7+7 or something.
You signed a 7+7.
Which is stupid for a frozen yogurt shop.
That's crazy.
And then, so then we're like, this is shit. We're losing money. Let's just close up shop.
Yeah.
So we closed the doors. And then we got like a notice, like a legal notice saying, you guys can't just close your doors. You have to go and open it. I'm like, what do you mean? It's my shop.
Yeah.
I don't want to work today. I'm not going to open. They're like, nah, if you read your lease, they pointed out some like point in the lease and I read it and it didn't make sense to me, but I read it and it's like pretty much you can't close your doors, right? I'm like, shit, I have to open even if I don't want to open. And we worked out at one stage, the cost to be open versus the cost to be closed was marginal.
Yeah.
So we would go to work knowing we were going to lose money that day.
How shit is that? What a shit feeling to work 18-hour days and then just to make $0. People don't get this. People think if you start a business, you're going to be rich. You're going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I think the numbers were like, if we closed, we'd lose, let's call it, I don't know, let's call it like $800. Mm-hmm. If we stayed open, we'd lose like $300. Let's call it, right? $300-$400 after you pay staff, product, and all of that stuff. So it was still the better option of the two, but you still went to work knowing you're going to lose money. And we had then been doing it long enough that I think it was like 12 months in. Like we didn't see it to be an upward trend anytime soon, and more competitors were entering the market. Produce was getting harder to kind of obtain. Things were becoming more expensive. We didn't see the business suddenly flipping upside down and suddenly becoming the success that we hoped it had. So we just kind of let it run its course, essentially just eating into capital. We took a bit of a loan. I think I took a credit card, a couple of personal loans. My partner at the time borrowed some money off family, and we essentially just started burning cash at a relatively slow rate, but still enough knowing like this cash was going to run out, and we didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. So what I then did was I said, well, you keep working in this business that's losing money, and I'm going to go and try to find a job to subsidize the 7-year lease we have, and then we will then try to find a way to exit. Because when we thought we were just going to close the company, we realized we had director guarantees, and we're like, okay, we can't just wipe our hands clean, unfortunately.
Yeah. Was it scary for you during that time? Because you're obviously running the numbers, and it's like $800 a week is $40,000 a year still.
A day.
Oh, $800 a day, not a week. Oh, $800 a day. All right, so that's a lot more. That's $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot lot of money.
Yeah.
How scary was that? I mean, you were still young. You were like mid-20s?
No,
early 20s.
22, 23, roughly around that age.
Jeez. Yeah, see, that's scary, man.
Yeah, we had no idea. It was all a learning curve. We learned everything as we went. And then, so once we made that plan, we're like, okay, you'll keep working in the shop. I'll go and try to find a job. And then the plan would be I'd take the money from that job to hopefully be able to pay for rent and get closer to break even. And then we're going to try to get rid of the business and try to exit this 7-year lease. So we went from thinking we had won the lottery to secure this lease to like, hey, this is like the worst thing in our life. How do we get rid of it as soon as possible? So I went on Seek, and I remember I essentially just searched all occupations, Sydney within like 30 kilometers, minimum salary 75K. Like that was my criteria. Like I was willing to do literally anything and everything that could just help me get some cash in the door to get rid of this business. At the time, fortunately, we were still like living at home, so we had no other expenses apart from the business. I then interviewed for a job at a Big Four bank, and the lady who interviewed me, who I'm still friends with today, saw something and was willing to give us a shot. I think I was at the right place at the right time. I had no credit experience. I had no real banking experience. Like I worked in a bank as a teller, but I wouldn't classify that as like experience related to the job I was applying for.
Yeah.
And the role was a relationship manager for small business owners. So I was based in the East. The job was to look after clients of the bank that earned a certain turnover between X to Y, and essentially do everything needed for them, right? Open bank accounts, get them loans, manage that relationship, FOS machines, all of that stuff. Now, the lady who hired me or wanted to hire me, I believe she's kind of saw it as I had some first-hand business experience. So I was very transparent. I said, hey, currently trying to exit this business. I'm not involved, but this is what I'm currently doing.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, what my plan is over a long period of time. Essentially wanted to get rid of it, right? And why I say I think I was at the right place, right time was, I think at the time I was like 24, maybe 25. 23 to 25, somewhere in that range.
Yep.
It was a relatively small team, but the next person up in terms of age, when I joined, the next person up was like 42.
Oh, wow.
So
You would have been young as.
I was young for that at that point in time.
Yeah.
And I think most of those bankers had been there, 15, 20 years, and they were very experienced. But when I left that bank, everyone was like 30, give or take. So I think I was just like that fresh wave.
Transitional.
Yeah, so I was just lucky that I had been there at that point in time. The lady that hired me, from my understanding, when I spoke to her later, like I was actually rejected from the next level up.
Oh, wow.
But she really pushed to get me the job. She got me the job. I kind of realized I could go to work, know I was going to get paid. So that was very exciting for me.
Yeah.
Once you've been working, knowing you're going to lose money, even if you're working and it's something you don't really enjoy too much.
Yeah. But there's money
feels
coming
good.
in.
There's money coming in, right?
Yeah,
So I'm like, fuck, this is good, right? I get to go to work. I know I'm going to get paid. And it was a decent salary. Like at that age, like 75, 80 grand was a good salary.
That was a great salary.
Very good salary, yeah. And then fortunately, I actually realized it was a job I actually quite enjoyed. And fortunately, it was actually a job that I realized I was actually relatively good at. So I picked up the kind of credit skills and all of that stuff. And I did it for like, 3-4 years, and I kind of rose all the way to the top. I think I was like top in the country or something.
Wow.
As a banker in that segment. And then we got rid of the business. We sold the business for $1. And this was a big learning for me, and I'm sure you would agree. You can have the same business, 2 people, and you can have very different results.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for us, we were the people that were getting the inferior results. So we sold the business to this guy. He ran a bunch of coffee shops. He's very entrepreneurial, especially in the F&B space. He had a Soul Origin at Hurstville at the time.
Yeah.
And
that was pumping. Soul Origin.
And he's got a couple in Hurstville now.
Yeah.
And they're all pumping.
Wow.
And that coffee shop I sold to him, it's still there today. So
Wow.
I sold it to him for $1 as a froyo shop. And I just wanted my hands clean. Like I could have sold the machines. I could have sold the coffee machine. I could have probably extracted some capital, but we had been so kind of depleted in it. And it was just like, we just wanted it gone. If I was going to get another 50 grand by going through the process of selling, but I was going to delay it, I'd rather give up that 50 grand and just start fresh.
Correct.
So I gave him the shop for $1. He re-signed a lease. And this is what he did. This is how smart he was. We had this, as you remember, hopefully, it was very bright and purple, right?
Very bright.
It looked like a hospital.
Yeah. So much LED, all of this.
So much LEDs. Like we had like a big screen. We'd play PlayStation on it all the time. It was like I could see why customers didn't want to come, right? Now looking back at it. And what this guy did was he took our coffee machine, and then we had all these like bright coloured aluminium stools.
Mm-hmm.
He hand sanded it down.
Oh, wow.
So he made them look really dark and rustic. And then he went and got like those coffee bags, like those bean bags.
The big ones, yeah.
Yeah. And he went and like stuck them against the wall. So I think he probably, I'm guessing, I reckon he spent less than $5,000 to convert it for what we had to essentially what he had.
Yeah.
Because he reused everything
What a fit
and
out.
just made it look older, right?
Yeah.
And he had the coffee machine that we had, and he would have made money from the machines that he would have on-sold. And he essentially turned it around overnight.
It's crazy.
And that shop's still there today. And it's, I don't know how many kilos of coffee it pumps through, but it still does well.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we didn't see that. We were just like, this is a shit business. It's a shit spot.
Yeah.
It's a shit product. Like that was like our mindset. And that's probably why it kind of never picked up. But yeah, one guy came in and he turned it around without really chucking in huge amounts of cash. And yeah, 15 years or whatever on, it's
still there.
Still there.
How crazy is that? I mean, all it takes is that. I think it's mindset. You know what it is?
Yeah.
It is all mindset at the end of the day. A lot of people, they look at a business, they go, oh, this is shit. But there's so many turnarounds, and people pay big money for these turnarounds too. But at the same time, if you are responsible for your own business, what's stopping you from figuring that out as well? And look at your business now, right? Like your business now is doing fantastic. Obviously, the mindset now versus back then is going to be completely different. You know, back then you were trying to go, hey, let me just get out of this ASAP. Now it's kind of like, how do I, optimize this, grow it even bigger, scale up? Who do I need to partner with to bring even more business in?
Yeah.
Smarter, much smarter.
Yeah,
operator.
and I think that maybe like the key thing would be, like we opened that frozen yogurt shop because we just wanted a way to make money.
Yeah.
That was the simple answer. It wasn't, we didn't enjoy the product. We did when we were buying it, but when we started eating every day, we didn't enjoy the product
my
anymore.
fridge was full of froyo. It was full of
Yeah,
froyo.
it takes away the novelty, right?
Yeah.
When you line up and then you get to have it, you're like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
When it's at your fingertips and you're having it like
Every
all
single
day,
day, and you're just like snacking on it
yeah,
all day.
it's like
No.
suddenly I'm like, I didn't eat it for 15 years after like.
Well, same.
it's like-
I haven't eaten it in like 10 years. And now if my girlfriend wants to go, I'm like, all right, we can go. But like now I'm like, nah, not interested.
Yeah.
Not interested.
I like it now, but there was this big break where I was just like, I just can't touch it, right? The thought
Yeah.
of it was a massive turn off. And yeah, I think it was more so, we didn't actually put any thought into the business of actually what do we like to do? What gives us fulfillment? Like, where do we actually want this business to be? Why are we doing this business? Like, none of those questions were answered. It was like, we've got some cash. How do we find a way to work as little as possible and live the life we want? And that's the wrong way to go about it, in my opinion, right?
Yeah. And that's a lot of people that are entrepreneurial or hustlers. That's their all thoughts. Yes, I've made some money now. I've got 50K in the bank. How do I turn this 50K into $5 million, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to do it quick. Quick is always
Yeah.
the key word.
Yeah, and I think why the car stuff had done quite well is because I actually enjoyed the cars. I liked going and looking at cars. I liked driving the cars, and I feel because it was somewhat of a passion thing related to it and a hobby, it allowed me to kind of do it at a level that some people might think is quite tiring. Like I'd fly to Melbourne and drive a car back, and some people are like, you're crazy. Like, why would you do that? I'm like, well, it takes me 8 hours to drive. If I make 10 grand,
It's worth it.
that's not bad.
$1,000 an
and
hour,
when you're
man.
21 years old,
Yeah.
right? So, whereas some people wouldn't want to do that. And I'm like, well, at the same time, I get to look at the car, I get to drive the car, I get to own the car, and I'm going to make some cash. But the Froyo was like, I'm selling this cup for $3. I'm selling it to someone.
Don't give a shit.
Don't really give a shit. It was like, a mixture of the wrong things. But yeah, so I guess back to the banking side, when the banking thing happened, God bless that it did, and so fortunate that it did. That I was like, oh, actually, now I've got a job that I actually enjoy. I quite like it. I'm quite good at it. What next, right? So we got rid of the business, did it for like 3 or 4 years, and then it was a very comfy job. And I think if I had done it in my 40s, I would never have left, assuming the job didn't change,
Wow.
which it probably would have. Like I was working well and truly below 40 hours. I had a very supportive manager that was results driven, not time driven. So I could go to work pretty much at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
But as long as I get the work done, I'd finish at 8, 9. There's a lot of flexibility. It was very well paying. Like I was earning like close to 200 or something at the time. And yeah, I liked it. But I guess a piece of me was like, well, I'm kind of mid-20s. Maybe there's more I could be doing. So I went through what society would consider the norm, right? So I'd be like, okay, let's go get a management role in the bank. So I tried that. I tried middle management. I did like a regional management role, secondment, and I managed like a bunch of bankers. And I think at the time I was like one of the youngest. And on paper, as a job title, it looks hugely successful.
Yeah, it looks hectic.
I hated it. It was shit. I wasn't high enough that I could make decisions. So I felt like I was in between a sandwich. Like I'd have to push the people kind of that were reporting to me.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to like get pushed by
Upwards.
the people I was
Yeah.
reporting to. And it gave me no fulfillment. And what I realized was that was not why I enjoyed banking. What I enjoyed out of banking was being with the client, understanding what they wanted, and then being able to give them a solution. Like that to me made me feel good, right? So then I did a bit of a review. I was like, fuck, I'm going to review my life. And it was probably the first time in like my entire life. I probably did it a bit late. And I was like, okay, what do I actually want in my life, right? And I had a few options. So one was an accounting firm offered me an option to essentially become partners as a mortgage broker. At the time, I knew mortgage brokers could get paid quite well because we would get the deals from bank.
You got trail commission back then as well, right?
There was trail commission, but as a banker, we would process commercial loans for brokers. And we would get to see the commission they can get. And I think at the time, my bonus would have been like, I don't know, 20, 30 grand. And I was some weeks I was working ridiculous hours to get it. And then we would do the deal for the broker. And these are larger deals and not deals obviously you see all the time, but you see one of these and essentially the guy got like 100K
bonus
commission from one deal that we did the work for. And I was like, fuck, so you're telling me that guy just passed on the name and number, we helped process it, they packaged it all up, they got the relationship with the client, and he made 100 grand and he's got these going all the time. And here I am working my ass off to make 20 from the bank. So I knew the mortgage broking business could be quite lucrative, right? But I didn't know if it was something I wanted to do. But this accountant essentially offered me something that was like a good transition out. Like I had the potential stability that I'd partner with someone, they'd give me leads and that type of stuff. That was option one. Option two, I think I was like, I had some friends, and I'm sure you would have, that moved to London.
Yes, plenty.
Yeah?
Plenty are in London right now.
Maybe not now with the whole world thing happening, but sub 30, you could get a visa, you could go. And I was like, maybe I could be a bartender, right? I'd just go to London, like bartend on the weekends or the weekdays, and then travel around Europe on the weekends kind of thing. So that was one of the other options. The third option was what my mum wanted me to do. She was like, just stay at the bank. You've fucked it up before. You're doing all right now. Like, just keep going, right? And I was like, yeah, it's not a bad idea. And then, and I guess the fourth was, I'll just start my own thing, right? It was a very, very difficult decision. And I almost, like, there were days where I would change my mind on all four. And I actually I actually tried to listen to my mum this time, because when I opened my froyo shop, she told me not to do it. And she told me to buy property. And when I closed my froyo shop, so we lost like $500,000. That same property had sold a second time for like 300 or 400 more, right? So like the net difference was like $1 million bucks. So I was like, maybe it's time to listen to my mum. So I was considering it. So I actually applied for the secondment role I was doing. I actually applied for like I think it was called a regional director or something. It sounded on paper. Sounded hectic. You get paid like 180 grand.
VP of development.
On paper, it sounded hectic. So I'm like, I'm going to apply for it. And my manager at the time, we had a really good relationship. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to stay, because I really liked him. So I applied, but because it was quite a senior role, it had to go through like a few steps. And essentially, like the head of the department told me, I can't get it. So I'm so glad she denied it, because if she gave it to me,
probably stuck there.
I might have just kept going. So she said, actually, no, this is actually like you don't have enough experience and blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, I took it on the chin, accepted it. So I went back to the review and I was like, okay, let's go to London. And then I started doing some research. I talked to some friends, and then what I realized was a lot of friends that went there with the intention of traveling a lot ended up just
not
working. Just like living their Australian life in London, right? Like they then get busy, everyone does. and they actually don't do as much travel as they initially hoped. So I was like, okay, maybe let me rethink that, right? So then I looked into mortgage broking. I reached out to a few friends. I had a friend who had left the bank a couple years earlier, who I'm still mates with now. And he had been really successful. He's much more entrepreneurial and he's willing to take risk a lot more than me. He left the bank with very little banking experience and just went straight into it.
Wow.
Whereas I guess I wanted to build a few years and I probably waited a bit too long. And then I went to speak to him and I tried to understand how the business kind of works. And then what I realized was this was a very unique business model. So most service providers, you go see an accountant, you go see a lawyer, you pay for their time. Mortgage broking, you get paid by the bank and you don't actually on-charge anything to the client. So I was kind of confused and a little bit skeptical initially. I was like, well, you're telling me I can provide a service to the client, they don't pay for it at all, it comes at zero cost to them, and then I still get paid.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't believe it. I was like, no, someone, like, as you know,
Some
like,
scam somewhere.
yeah, like
Yeah.
there's that saying, right? There's no free lunch. I'm like,
Yeah.
someone has to pay. But then when my friend explained it to me, he's like, well, someone is paying. Like when you go to the bank, that employee gets paid a six-figure salary that the bank has to pay for that employee to assist the client. You're just replacing that employee.
It's true.
And then he's like, well, similar to like subcontractors in the building industry. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So that was super appealing. So I was like, okay, so now there's this thing that I like because I've tried it. I know I'm pretty good at it because I've tried it. And it's a free service. So I'm like, that seems like a pretty easy sell. And I knew it was a need everyone eventually needs, right? Most people need finance at some stage in their life.
Yep.
The unfortunate thing at the time was there was this thing called the Cedric Review or something.
Okay.
And what they were thinking about was changing how brokers were paid.
Was this during like that Royal Commission period?
Yeah. So they were trying to remove trail, change it to like a fixed fee rather than a percentage. And in short, if you listen to the media, it was the worst time to become a mortgage broker.
Yes.
And like what brokers were at that time could be very different in the future. But I don't know what made me do it. I think maybe I just kind of felt, look, there's never going to be a perfect time, so I'll just give it a crack. And my view was, worst case scenario, I can always go get a job at another bank. Because I had a pretty decent resume by then. I had some good kind of runs on the board. And I set myself very, very low ambitions. So I worked out how much do I need to write in terms of an annual loan value to pay for my bills. Again, I was living at home at the time, so things were very low. And I think at the time my goals were like, if I could do $8 million, I will keep doing this.
Yep.
If I could get to 12, I would be happy. And if I could get to like 20, I think industry average at the time was 15. I was like, if I can get to 15, like this is going to be like what I want to pursue for a very long time.
So $15 million of loan value is essentially, well, nowadays probably like what, 30 mortgages, roughly
Give or take.
20, 25, 30
Yeah.
mortgages on average.
Yeah, give or take. And I think what I did was I took the industry average and then I took the numbers of brokers that I knew that were doing quite well. And then I wanted to be conservative, right? So I didn't set myself like a $50 million target, etc. And then I took that number and worked out, well, can that pay for my bills? And the answer was yes. So I was like, okay, if I can essentially get to this level, I'll do it. And like the number was very low. I think it was like 8 mil.
Yeah.
And so I started it. I did a few big changes. So I moved out of home. So I moved into my own property. Cash was tight. So I had a 1-bedroom plus a study. And I think you'll appreciate this. This is probably the hustle part. I had a 1-bedroom plus study. And when I say study, I mean genuine study. It's not like a room.
Yeah, it's like tiny.
It was 6.5 to 7 square meters. So it was enough. Okay. It was a room with a fixed table at the end. If you put a double bed there, the double bed touches the table.
Okay, yeah.
And
crazy.
Yeah.
Was this still in Hurstville?
This was in Erskineville.
Oh, in Erskineville.
Yeah, and then it didn't have a door. So I had a curtain, okay? So I had a room with a bed, a desk at the end, and then I had a curtain. And I didn't have an office, so that's essentially where I spent 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I slept on the bed, I'd roll out, go straight to work, work ridiculous hours, and then go straight back to bed, right? And I did that because I wanted my expenses to be as low as possible to give me as little pressure to be able to give this mortgage broking thing a fair shot. I didn't want to be in a position like the yogurt shop where I felt, hey, I can't afford this. I really need
You're
to
just
do
chasing your
drastic.
tail, and
Correct.
you're coming from scarcity rather than like abundance.
So I think like my mate moved into the room, and what he paid me in rent was like half the mortgage almost. And then what I then had to contribute was like roughly half, which I was okay with. And then the other drastic thing I did was I realized I think I was quite young at the time, and I looked pretty young as an Asian. And I was scared people wouldn't take me seriously because I used to work at a Big Four. I come with a Big Four bank business card. People are open to talking to me. I was like, well, now I'm my own brand. No one knows me. Are they even going to talk to me?
Yeah.
So before I left the bank, I went and took this massive car loan out because I had
For
the
a
salary.
hectic car?
And I bought an AMG.
Oh, no way.
Purely because I wanted to look like
You had the part.
I had the part.
Yeah. Which
So-
AMG did you get? A? C?
CLA 45.
Okay, yeah, still a nice car.
And
That's
at
a
the
hectic
time,
car.
it was the most expensive car I'd ever driven.
Yeah, and it's a hectic car still. It's still a great car.
Yeah, so I wanted, because I was going to like, my plan was I'd go to like real estate open houses and stuff, and I wanted people to take me seriously. I'd wear a fucking suit, I'd suit up, I'd rock up in this nice car that I was fucking paying off and bleeding out of. And yeah, like that was my minimum expenses. I had a car to pay, I had some loan repayments to pay, which was subsidized by my roommate, and everything else was very low.
How much do you reckon it was all up? $4,000 a month? $3,000 a month?
Yeah, give or take,
Give or
around
take,
there.
about
Yeah,
there, because the
3 to
AMG
4
probably
grand.
would have been what, about 1,005, and then
Yes.
mortgage maybe another 3 or less, 2.5.
Yeah, let's just call it $4,000 a month.
About
roughly
$4,000,
there.
yeah.
So the numbers I worked out, I needed to earn roughly 50 to 60K a year
Yep, to cover everything.
to be living on like 2-minute noodles.
Yeah.
But I was okay with that, right?
Yeah,
So yes, I tried that, and then the number I set, like I said, was like 8 mil, and I just got to work and kind of reached out to people. I had no website, no business cards, just talking to people. Hey, I'm now doing this loan thing. If you know of anyone, please introduce me. And I met a few really good people along the way. I met this lady. She sold me a property.
okay.
Not the best property to buy, but very valuable relationship because she then started sending me clients. And she really helped me get up and running. And in my first year, I wrote 88 million or something. So I did
88 million?
I did like 10x.
What the
Of,
fuck?
like-
Okay, yeah, that's a very big
Yeah,
difference.
I did. Yeah, it wasn't even in my stretch position of best case scenario
You
was
crushed
like
it.
4 times below what that would have been.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
even know that was possible.
Yeah.
And at the time, I had done the most number of loans for a first year broker.
Wow.
To have come out new to kind of that side of the world, right? The mortgage broking side. And yeah, like when the commission started coming in, I was like, oh, actually, this is going to work.
Yeah.
Initially, it wasn't like
That would
because
have
there's a
been
delay.
a shitload of commission, wasn't it? Like 88
Yeah,
million.
it takes time. Like initially, I think my first commission after like 2 months was like, I don't know, like $15 or something. And I was
Oh,
like,
really? Wait, why is it $15? Explain it. How
so
how
there's
does
2
how
parts.
does it work? How does it work?
So there's
Okay.
the upfront.
Yeah.
So as a broker, we get an upfront, which is 0.65 on the loan amount. So if you
Yeah.
borrow 500K, we get 3,250.
I love how you know your numbers off
Yeah.
the bat.
Then there's a trail, right?
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
0.15.
Okay.
So on 500,000, you get 750 a year paid on a monthly basis.
Okay.
All right. And that was what I was looking at. And I was like, oh, my trail is $15. I'm like,
yeah.
people telling me they got a couple $100,000. I'm like,
Like, why
this
do I
is
get
gonna-
$15?
this is going to take like 30 years.
Yeah.
And you probably know how compound interest kind of
Correct.
works and compounding. And yeah, so obviously that slowly grew and then it grew a lot quicker. And then I just kept going at it and it grew a lot quicker. And then, at the end of the year, I was like, oh shit, this thing's, it pays quite well.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, I was like, I think I found a good business. And I still wasn't like 100% like I didn't want to make the same mistake as the froyo shop and like get comfortable too early. So
No clubbing this time.
no clubbing.
Not with your $15.
No office, none of that fancy stuff. The only 2 things I had was like the property that
Yeah.
I was living in, plus the fancy car, right? Then I hired my first staff was my partner at the time, the little brother.
Yeah.
He was still in high school,
Oh, wow.
so he was working at like retail Paul's Warehouse, earning like $17. I'm like, I can give you $20.
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
come sit at the desk and just do some admin for me. And then, so he's my first staff, and then he essentially got all the way through the process where he could have become a mortgage broker if he wanted to.
Oh, wow.
And so what I realized was I'm like, actually, this isn't that hard. You can actually, if you kind of have the soft skills and you got the problem solving abilities, like most people could pick this up, right? There is a very big range between, say, a really, really good broker and an average.
Yeah.
But like to actually learn the fundamentals wasn't too difficult. And
Is there a license that you need to get to become
yeah,
a
that's
broker?
not hard.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if you've worked at a bank, it's like a ticker box. You pay like $400. Yeah,
Easy as.
So very, very low barriers to entry, which I think a lot of people see as a bad thing. I tried to see it as a positive. Like how I saw it was, yes, anyone could become a broker very easy, similar to like a real estate agent. But what that then meant, in my view, was there's a lot of people that were like full-time plumbers, part-time broker.
Yeah.
So how I kind of interpreted that would be there's also a lot of average brokers out there, and
Correct.
the likelihood someone's had an average experience is quite high, which then means you just have to be a little bit better than them, and
Agreed.
you'll give them a good experience, right?
Yes.
And yeah, I think that's the industry is still the same today. Like it's low barriers to entry, very easy to become one, but the gap between someone that's kind of in the middle and someone at the very top is a huge gap, similar to real estate, right? The guys that are writing top dollars, they earn like such a large percentage of the market compared to the average person, right?
Correct.
So kept it going, hired a few more people, never really put up a job ad, hired the friend of the guy that worked for me, like my partner's little brother at the time.
Yep.
Hired his mate, hired my cousin.
Were they all doing admin for you?
All
Sales?
admin.
All
Yeah.
admins. All admin.
All admin, yeah, all admin. And most brokers, what they tend to do is they get to a certain size and then they hire more mortgage brokers.
Okay.
So if you think of the mortgage broker as like the person at the front, bringing in the business, the admin are kind of doing the paperwork, the data entry to keep the wheels moving, right? I was very fortunate that because I had no office, because I didn't have no fancy marketing, didn't have a website, I didn't even have business cards, how I kind of saw it was, well, this is my client today. I need him to give my name to 2 people or I don't have a client tomorrow. And that was essentially the model we adopted. So we were like, how do we make this client become our marketing to then give us 2? And then how do we make those 2 to become 4 and 4 to 8? And that's essentially what we did. And we did that quite well, that our clients essentially kept referring friends, family, and like I said, I think this is something everyone essentially needs at some point. And if you can tell them it's free, you're doing a pretty bad job if you can't get someone to pass on your name for a service that they need and that's free, right?
So what did you do? Did you give the clients a bonus? Did you give them a referral?
Yes.
How did you play that game?
Yeah, so we would kind of like would pay for like their first year annual fee.
Okay.
When we first started, we'd do a lot of that stuff. But a lot of clients didn't even want it. They just said, "Hey, you've done a good job. You got me a solution that I couldn't get already.
Yeah.
You haven't charged me anything for it. I know someone that wants, like, I want to help my mate. You can probably help my mate." Like, and that makes sense, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
That's exactly my thought process too. Like if I refer like my brother's girlfriend to you or whatever it is, it's just a matter of whether or not you can be the person that provides the solution versus party B, C, D.
Exactly.
Whoever can provide the solution in the best way at the best number. Great.
Makes sense. Exactly. And that's what we did, right? And yeah, we got pretty lucky that it got to a stage where instead of bringing on new brokers, we had so much volume coming in that we just hired lots of admin staff. And I got to a stage where it was just me as a broker and I had close to 20 admin staff.
Just for yourself. That's
just for myself.
Crazy.
So we were doing very, very high volumes for a single broker kind of operation.
Yeah.
And then I think that was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years in the business. So things were going well. I was able to now borrow money from banks. I was kind of buying a few properties. Like things were looking a lot better than the froyo days.
A lot brighter.
A lot brighter.
For sure.
A lot brighter. So then I then kind of looked at the business and I was like, well, where do I want to kind of take this? Do I then go and bring in more brokers, which is like what most mortgage brokerages do? Like, do I still want to kind of do this? Do I want to take a step back? And then I tried a few things. So I brought in my best mate who was working at a bank for a few reasons. Number one, because he was my best mate, I wanted him to have a better life as well. And I thought he could do much better than working at the bank.
Yeah.
And number two, I just wanted someone to like high five with when you kick goals.
It's like, oh, you did good.
Yeah, rather than just myself, right? I just tap the wall, you know?
Yeah.
So I want to just have someone I can
Well done,
high
Jordan.
five. You know how it is.
We crushed the goal as well.
It gets a bit lonely
It
sometimes.
does. Business is very lonely at
Yeah.
times, especially at the high levels. It's very, very
Yeah.
lonely.
So having my best friend there just made things more interesting and fun. And then when I then had him there and he was kind of up and running and becoming a broker, I was like, actually, maybe I'm going to change my model. Everyone says you should get to a stage where you should stop working in your business and you should work on your business.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to listen to people. I'm going to give it a crack. And what I actually realized was I like the high level working on the business, like where it's going, the strategy type of stuff, but I don't actually like being the boss that manages people and the actual on the business stuff in that way. I actually very much enjoy being in the business.
Interesting.
And I really struggled with that for like probably close to 2 years.
Wow.
And then I met this guy through kind of just luck looking at properties, and he's a very, very, very successful real estate agent. And he runs a massive business. So he's essentially the founder, he's the boss. All right. But he still classifies himself as a real estate agent
Interesting.
because he likes being a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And when when I kind of caught up with him a couple of times, and he kind of told me that, and he's a little bit older than me, he's gone through the journey, it really helped me accept, I'm like, it's actually okay to work in your business if that's what you like. So that really shifted things for me. So then I was like, okay, so I don't want to be the guy that's in charge of HR. I don't want to be the one running day-to-day operations, running team meetings. I want to be a mortgage broker, and I want to talk to clients and give them the solution, which is why I started this.
Yeah.
Now that we're bigger,
You lose that.
you lose that, right? And most people will then kind of make different decisions. And like I said, I really struggled with it because I'm like, well, that's what most people do. But then once I met this guy and he told me about how he runs his business, I'm like, well, he's been doing it a long time. He's got a huge business, but he's got a CEO. He's got like someone that runs ops. He's got someone that runs management.
He's just playing the game now. He can just put himself back down into the
Correct.
workforce, right?
Yeah. And that's what I did. So I'm like, actually, I like being a broker.
Yeah.
So I'll hire people to do all the stuff as like that the business needs if it allows me to do what I enjoy. And that was a game changer. Like that then allowed us to go from like we were doing, let's say 100 mil to like 200, 3, and then like this year we'll do like 700-800 mil as a single broker. And that's because I've been able to dedicate my time to being a broker rather than splitting my time to run different parts of the business. And that was a big learning, which I'm still learning, I guess, throughout the days as we go now.
Business is fluid as well, right? Like things are changing and moving all the time, and even now with like things like AI, right? We're just quickly talking off air. Everything's changing. The world will change. What was relevant 6 months ago now at this pace is going to change again. You're going to have new systems. I'm going to have new systems. If we have another conversation in the next 6 to 12 months, it's a different conversation once again.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That's exciting. What's the top broker in Australia? What do they do in terms of numbers? Is that you or is that someone else? Like is someone writing $1 billion in loans a year right now?
No one's done a bill yet, from my understanding. There's like a ranking. It's called the MPA. It's like a ranking that's validated, and it's purely just based on the loans you write. So it's a number based. A lot of the other awards, like you have to put in like a submission. So a lot of it's narrative based.
Yeah.
But yeah, the MPA, I guess, is what a lot
Based
of brokers
on
look at.
Yeah,
the
numbers
results-based stuff. So last year I ranked number 5. So I dropped 3. So the year before I was 2.
Wow.
I've never actually hit 1. So 2 was the highest I got to. But as a loan base, we would probably be one of the highest in the country. So especially as a Sydney-based broker, most like Sydney-based brokers, the average loan size would be $1 million plus. Like our average is like 400, 500. So we kind of play it the hard way. We take a lot of clients.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how we started. Like I never said no to anyone. Like if you wanted a 50K loan, we'd do it. If you want a $5 million loan, we'd love to do it, but we'll still do it, right? And as a consequence, like people know people that are at similar situations as them, right? Like if you're buying a 500K house, a lot of your mates are probably buying 500K houses, right?
Yep.
If you got a 5 mil house, a lot of your mates probably have 5 mil houses, right? So because we kind of just started as we'll take anything we can get, I think that just kind of slowly grew. So yeah, I would say in terms of number of loans, would be close to top in the country, if not the top of the country. Number of loans.
Yeah, yeah.
And then dollar value wise, would be in the top.
That's crazy.
5 or whatever it may be. But
That's very impressive. So what, I mean, at the end of the day, what matters for a mortgage broker is not the number, right? But the actual mortgage size. Is that right? Or a bit of both?
Yeah, I guess a bit of both. It depends how you view it. So like if you ask a broker, hey, do you want this client that's buying a 5 mil property or this guy buying a 500K property? Everyone's going to obviously choose the 5 mil because we get paid as a percentage, right? Of course. But I guess how I kind of see it is the guy that buys a 500K property, he probably has more friends buying 500K properties than the guy buying 5 mil.
Interesting.
There's not that many at that trend. As a percentage, that's a lot of value, right?
Massive difference as well in the property game. Massive.
And I think that's, again, why our average is a little bit lower because we have more people that are referring more friends that are buying properties or have finance needs. The downside is obviously you need more people. So like we're like a 60 head count now.
Yeah, okay.
So we've got a pretty large head count for the number of brokers we have. We've got very, very few brokers. But yeah, it works and it's fulfilling, right? Like I guess what I most enjoy about it is going to sleep at night being like, oh, today I was able to help these 8 people get what they wanted to get, right? You would know, like you kind of get to this level financially where if you earn $1 million, you earn $2 million, $3 million, life doesn't change that much more. Like if you've got all your standard needs met, you're earning at a certain value, like earning more, life doesn't change.
Yeah. You just buy shinier things, that's all.
Yeah, you might chase more because like you just want to see how far you can push it. And
that's high performers. I think that high performer mindset is like once you get to a certain level, you want more, right?
Yeah, you want more, right?
Once you buy the 500K property, you want to get 800.
Exactly.
Then you want to get a 1.5. Then you want to get a 5. You know, it's like
well, I guess it's as humans, like we thrive on growth, right?
Correct.
But you get to a certain level, I guess, where that growth isn't just about how much you get to keep because like your personal life may not change much more, right? But yeah, obviously you want to keep pushing, and then I think when you stop growing, like things get a bit boring and stuff. So that's why we're still pushing. Like when I first started, my final goal I had set was at the time, the top broker had done like 300 mil, and in my mind that was ridiculous. Like I was working almost every hour I was awake. I had no downtime, no social time, 7 days a week. And I was doing like 100, 150. So I'm like 300 was just insane. Bonkers.
Yeah.
They had much larger loan sizes. So that's how I justified it. But it was still crazy to get to that dollar value. And like you said, business is fluid, right? Especially with kind of AI coming in, and the COVID situation really helped our industry where we don't have to meet face to face. There's digital stuff. But nowadays, like when I started, I think I did 88 first year. Yeah, 88. I was number 32 in the top 100 list in my first year, right?
That's crazy.
First year.
Yeah.
Then now, if you want to be in the top 100, you need to be doing like 100, 150.
Really? So it's changed like that
drastically
just in 10 years.
changed.
Wow.
Yeah. So then when I got to 300, I was like, fuck, I can't believe I did it.
And then now you're like pushed down.
But the next guy had done like 400. I'm like, well, that's possible, right? Like I'm sure you've heard that. What's that? That guy that did the Roger,
5 minute mile or whatever.
Yeah,
or 4 minute mile, whatever.
Yeah, so when someone does it, you're like, well, it's possible.
Bang, 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 just
and that's what keeps happening. So then we got to a level where like, oh, now the top rider's doing 500, and I'm like, that's just impossible. And last year I did 530.
Yeah, you're like, what?
And then I was like, I dropped 3 ranks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, obviously it's more possible to do more. So now like my target this year is 750, and I'm sure I'll get to the end of the year and someone will do 800.
Yeah.
And next year will be $1 billion. So it's never ending.
It's never ending.
But that makes it exciting, you know. It makes it like
it's a game.
It's a game. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's fun. It's a fun game to play. And very fortunate to be able to be part of, I guess, this type of game. And you would know, like you said, you want to launch multiple things. I'm sure it's not about the money, right?
Exactly.
It's about obviously money is important to get to a certain state, to obviously make sure your needs are met. But after a certain level, it's not about the money. It's like, how far can I go?
Exactly. and you know what's crazy? It's like you think you're doing okay. And then you always look outside, you look around, there's always like some person younger than you, smarter than you, whatever, and then someone's just doing better than you.
I've got a good mate. My mate Jack Henderson. Yeah. He's a good guy to be around. And, every time I talk to him, I'm like, fuck, I need to work harder. And I used to always do this. Like, when I feel like, I'm doing all right,
Yeah.
I'll message Jack. I'm like, bro, let's get a coffee. Let's have brekkie.
Yeah.
I'll go have breakfast with him. And I'll walk away just pumped. I'll be like, man, this guy's 10 years younger than me. Portfolio's like, what am I?
Fucking
like?
massive. Well, he just posted, is that 62 mil now for his portfolio?
Yeah, so I'm like half, right? I think I'm at like 35 or something.
Yeah.
And but we started at the same time.
Yeah,
we
wow,
bought
bro.
our first
I look
property.
at Jack. He's like literally half a year younger than me, and I'm like, fuck that, bro. Like this guy is just a beast.
And he does some crazy shit.
Yeah, insane.
I don't want to obviously say too much, but
Yeah.
there's stuff that I think people just don't understand, like at surface, how he's just wired differently. He can just.
Well, he told me he wants to be a billionaire in the next 10 years. So
Yeah, but the money side is just one part. If you like, the guy runs like 300 kilometers or something.
oh yeah, he's doing ultras. He's doing
Yeah.
fucking ultras, bro. I was like, what the?
Yeah, but like
fuck?
this is shit that people train, like they dedicate life to it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's running like 10 different businesses.
on the piss, and he's going.
Yeah.
And he's going and running 300 kilometers. He's cooked. Jack is crazy.
Yeah, so when
that's
when you
insane.
hang around people like that, you're like, I can do more, bro.
Yeah. Exactly. I love it. It's so insane. Like when we had Jack on the potty as well, like, it's crazy to see what the human can actually accomplish. And he's 29, turning 30. Or I think did he just turn 30?
Turning 30.
Yeah, turning 30. And that's incredible what he's accomplished. And his business is printing money as well, right? He's printing money, multiple businesses, massive portfolio himself. It's very impressive to see. And I think a lot of here's a good one. A lot of the younger people will see that and they will either be intimidated by it or inspired by it. A lot of people try to put him down. Oh no, he just got lucky. He's just and you'll see in his comments all the hate comments from all the older guys. You're contributing to the fucking rental crisis. You're a fucking dickhead landlord. This, and people either hate or people are like, wow, that's insane. And I'm sure there's a large portion. How do you kind of deal with that when you were obviously with Barry Blitz? To your friends, they'll be like, wow, Barry Blitz, you've got a business, you're going to be rich, you're going to be successful. You know that you're drowning. But to your friends, they'll look at that and be like, wow, you're doing so well. How did you kind of deal with the psychological component of that?
Right.
Versus now, you're one of the top writers in mortgage and it's like completely different. How do you kind of deal with it? A lot of friends around you could also be jealous. Oh, no, Jordan just got lucky or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, they're like, bro, he fucking hustles. Like most people don't see the 18-hour days you worked between 25 and 30 years old every single day. How do you kind of deal with it psychologically amongst friends, amongst others?
I think you really understand who your true friends are when things are tough.
Yeah.
And I will never forget who was very much there when things were very, very tough. And I was very open and transparent. So most of my friends knew what I was going through when I had the froyo side of things. And the guys that really provided the support, you never forget that feeling, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you kind of become a little bit more successful, yeah, it is a bit sad that some people kind of view it a bit differently. And there was probably a period where I kind of found myself shying away from it. Like like I said, I really like cars. I think when I was like 27 or something, I bought my first, 27, 28, I bought my first McLaren, right? I bought my first supercar, maybe a bit older, maybe 28, 29. And like I would drive places and I would park a little bit further away.
So they don't see you.
So they don't see it.
Fuck, that's so sad.
And it was a bit sad, right?
Yeah.
And then you kind of get to a stage where I think maybe just as you grow up a bit, I guess I'm a bit older than you now and I matured a bit late, but you just get to a stage where you just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just realize, I want to live the life I want to live.
Yeah.
If you don't like it,
then fuck off.
if you like
So
it, so be it, right? And yeah, I guess you just make peace with it, and then life becomes so much simpler, right? When you're not thinking about external factors. What does this person think? What does this person care about?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. There's how many people on this planet. What you care about shouldn't matter to me, and what I care about technically shouldn't matter that much to you, unless we're like partners or something.
Yeah.
or unless you're doing something that your mate's trying to kind of give you a heads up on, like most opinions, in all honesty, shouldn't matter that much, right? As long as you're doing what you feel is right by you.
Yeah.
That I think is, yeah. I think as you go through that transition, especially if you weren't like born into money, it's a learning kind of process along the way. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
The pain from losing friends and people judging you, I think we
Yeah.
have to learn in that process anyway. Here in Australia especially, you know, everyone's trying to fucking bring you down. You know, the tall poppy syndrome here is insane. And I mean, it's easy. We're Asian. As long as people see us successful or we're on the way to success, like we might not even be massively successful, you'll see the comments flooded. You know, rich parents, got lucky, this and that.
yeah.
You see it all the time. It's
I get
insane.
it frequently at the petrol station.
Oh, dude.
At the petrol station, people are like, mummy's boy. I'm like, yeah, bro. My mum bought me this Ferrari. Did yours buy you a Ferrari?
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. The better thing is you get your mum to rock up in the Ferrari. Yeah, I bought that for my mum.
Yeah. And I think when you're at that stage where like you're trying to validate, then you take that to heart. But like if you literally don't care, like I don't care. I'm like, yeah, my mum did buy it for me.
Yeah, you just
Are
fuck
you
around
jealous?
with them.
Are you jealous
Yeah.
your mum couldn't afford a Ferrari?
Are you jealous you're
It
broke?
It doesn't matter to me if my mum bought it. I paid it myself. It doesn't matter. Well, why does it matter what you? It doesn't matter to me what you think.
Yeah.
Right?
And why does it matter that if my mum loves me enough to buy me a Ferrari? Why is that a bad thing? Like, if my mum wanted to give me a Ferrari, I'd fucking love that, wouldn't you? Like, if my family could afford that, wouldn't that be a good thing? Like, people are always complaining about these things. And yeah, I mean, victim mentality is a massive, massive thing. Everyone wants to look for excuses to justify why they're so shit or why they're mediocre, right? And, you know, this will get clipped and then ultimately they'll go out and people are like, wow, Alan's such a fucking dickhead. He has no empathy. Like, you know, not everyone can be in positions to make money or whatever. But the truth is you make what you make out of your own life. Just like you did. You know, you made the sacrifice. You moved to Erskineville, 1-bedroom a fucking apartment with a study, and you still rented that out to cover life so that you could still work 18 hours a day to focus on what you needed to do. 99.9% of people will not fucking do that. That's on them. That's not on you, you know? And if you're willing to work, you deserve absolutely every dollar. You know, I find it so sad in Australia, rich people like feel shame for being rich, especially if they're self-made. I think that's fucking shit. That's so sad.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll have a lot of successful friends being in your space who either one, don't want to show off that they're successful, don't even want to wear nice watches, don't want to drive nice cars. You know, they dress down because they feel like other people will feel, you know, bad.
Yeah.
It's so shit.
Terrible.
So shit.
I do think though most people when they go through that, they kind of come out the other side and yeah, I've heard some pretty shocking stories. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
you know?
crazy stories. Like I
wouldn't
was
be
like,
surprised.
can't believe people have the time of day to go out of their way to make someone try to feel that low just because
They're not it.
they're not there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is sad. I agree with you. And I think in Australia, it's very emphasized here, right?
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of other countries, and yeah, it is sad, but
It is what it is.
it
It's
is what it
quite
is.
sad.
Like you
Yeah.
said, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, let's turn direction, right? We've gone from business side. From a personal wealth side, you've obviously accumulated over the years, like you mentioned, your portfolios are like 30, 35 or, you know, whatever it is. We're not talking 35,000, but 35 million, right? So, and you've gotten some cool projects and I've seen you've partnered with Jack on a couple of different ventures as well. Talk to me about that. Like, what was your kind of growth and investment journey like? Because we all know, like Robert Kiyosaki always says, right? Employee, self-employed, business, investor,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know, if you don't know the cash flow quadrant, go read it, you know? But at the same time, it's kind of like understanding not just the cash flow quadrant, but the principles of it is once you make enough money, you obviously have to turn that to investment. Otherwise, you're going to be working until you die, whether you like it or not, right? And you can love working, and that's not a problem. Like yourself, you love working, I love working. Some people just want to chill. But what was your investment journey kind of like? How did you build that personal wealth? Not just for you to be able to afford the cars and do all that sort of stuff, because we know buying a Lambo, you can't just write it off under the business. It doesn't work that way, which most people think you can, but you still got to afford. Adam Sullivan actually did a very good piece of content on it today. Literally this morning, he goes, I bought this Lambo for $850 and I could barely even sell it for $500. Shit investment. But everyone in the comments like, oh, bro, you just bought it with business money. It's a tax write-off anyway. And the reality of it is to buy a 650K Lambo means you have to make at least like 1.5 mil in your business profit before you can even afford that 600K Lambo or 800K Lambo. So the question is, how did you then convert your business income and your growth in your business to then grow your own personal wealth for you to afford nice toys and nice stuff as well? What was
Right.
that journey like?
So I wish I knew what you just said early in the days when I started this journey too. So I think like a lot of new business owners, my first learning was when you have a company, you can't just
Just take the money out. Oop, off you go, write it off.
Then when I started Insight, and then when Insight started making money, because I have access to the bank account, I saw the business bank account as my bank account.
Yeah. It looks great. It always looks great.
There's $1 million there. I got $1 million. What should I buy, right? And that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
And I learned through my friend, who's also my accountant, that's not how it works. And when you use your business money, it has to get transferred to you in some shape or form. And there's marginal tax you have to pay. And like you said, a 650 car isn't 650 because you can obviously pay the tax on it to get it out to then buy it for 650, right? So I don't know if my answer is probably not very useful, but I just use the business money. And then and then what I realized was there's this thing called a Div 7A loan, which essentially means you've pulled out a bunch of cash from the business. And
I've been seeing a lot of things on socials about how bad a Div 7A loan is recently.
Yeah, so for those, I guess, that don't know, it's essentially your business has net profit. Let's say your business made profit of $1 million after expenses. You go and use the $1 million to go and buy yourself a new Ferrari. That Ferrari's in your personal name. You now owe your business $1 million, right?
Yeah.
And the ATO essentially makes you pay interest on that after a certain period of time, and you have to pay it off over a certain period of time. And in short, it costs you a lot of money, right? And I didn't know that. I just like, okay, there's money there. I'll use it to go and buy stuff.
Was that how you bought your first McLaren?
The McLaren, I bought it. That was an even bigger mistake. I bought it. I made a lot of mistakes.
Hey, that's all right. Now everyone gets to learn off it.
I thought I would have been like, because you know how you see people in the comments, they say, oh, it's a tax
write-off. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I have a business. I'm going to buy it in my business.
Yeah.
So I bought the car in my business thinking I was going to tell my accountant, this is marketing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You put your logo on it. Marketing. Bang.
Then at the end of the year, he goes, bro, you can't just say it's for marketing. You can't claim 100%.
Did you ask him before you bought it?
No, I'm not that smart.
Okay.
I do things and then I learn after, as you can tell. And then he sends me this thing to fill out. It's called FBT.
Fringe benefits tax.
And I'm like, fuck's FBT? And it was like 40 grand or something. And I'm like, what is this? He goes, because you used your McLaren. I'm like, it's my McLaren. He goes, no, it's the company's McLaren and you're driving it. I'm like, well, the company can't drive. Obviously, I'm driving it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And anyway, so I was like, okay, shit. So this car's costing me like a massive amount each year because I can't write it off for tax in full. And it costs a lot of money, right? That you have to pay your business to drive your business car because you're using it for personal use. So then that was a big mistake. So then all future supercars, I did it in personal name. Yeah. And then the next time...
What'd you do with the McLaren? Did you get rid of it? Did you sell it? Or?
Yeah, I sold it.
And you still have to pay taxes on that?
And then the other shit thing I learned was when you buy the McLaren, right?
Yeah.
I think it was like 300 grand brand new, right? So
which one did you buy? Do you remember?
570, the baby McLaren.
Yeah.
And then you pay GST, so you pay 30 grand. And I was like, fuck, man, I get to claim 30 grand GST in my BAS.
Business. Yeah.
But you don't get to do that. They have this cap, the luxury car tax cap or something. So you only get to claim GST up to like 8 grand.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
But when you sell it,
you pay the whole thing.
You pay the whole thing.
Yeah. You pay GST on the whole fucking value.
This is a scam.
Yeah, it's a full-on scam.
But anyway, I learned it that way. So when I see people like Adam Sullivan and like people that have like, these nice car collections, and I've got a mate, you probably know him, he's Asian, he's got like a very, very impressive car collection. And when I see he bought a 5 mil car, I know that cost him $10 million.
Yeah, fucking oath it did. Yeah. Yeah, especially if it's structured on a personal name. That's a fucking expensive car, man.
That's a lot of money, right?
People don't realize business owners that buy nice cars are paying almost double on what a normal person will pay for it, which is cooked.
Yeah.
Cooked.
Yeah,
People don't realize. You all better fucking make note of that. The next time your friend rocks up in a nice car as a business owner, he fucking cried over that shit, bro. He bled over that.
Yeah, taxes aren't cheap in Australia.
Oh.
But... Yeah, then moving forward, I just kind of copped it, right? I see it now as I've never gotten, apart from the AMG, I've never gotten finance on my cars.
Yeah.
I see it as, I want this 700K car. I need to essentially get to 1.4 mil. And I'm not going to get a loan, which means it's going to take me a very long time to save up. And I just see it as just like this massive kind of self-appreciation gift that I get myself once I get to a certain level, right? And like I said, like I like cars and I drive them and stuff. So, but it also then gets to a stage where I think at one stage I had the Ferrari and the Lambo, and then I looked at it in my garage and I wasn't driving either because I was overseas. And then I looked at the numbers, and then I look at the property side, and then I see how much the property's gone up, and I'm like, man, if I had put these two cars into this property,
It would have doubled.
it would have, yeah. But then the flip side of me, which I think a lot of business owners kind of balance out as well, on their one side, I'm like, well, maybe I should be enjoying my life a little bit as well. So there's always that kind of balancing act. And some days I'll be like, fuck it, sell everything, let's buy more appreciating assets, work harder, make as much cash as I can. And then some other days I'm like, I've got enough cash.
I want to enjoy
life.
Let's
just go and buy a new watch, or let's go buy a new car.
Yeah.
Or go to Europe with Jack on a fucking super yacht and
that was cool.
do stupid shit.
Yeah.
And live life a little bit, right? And I think there's always going to be a bit of both each way some days. But I think it makes it what's exciting. But I think the deep down, I think what gives me peace about all of these kind of things is knowing that I've got a business that's growing and a business that I like working in.
Yeah.
But more so a property portfolio that kind of is doing all the fundamentals and all of that stuff, which is kind of how we then reconnected, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you kind of know, like, end of the day, your baseline's taken care of and you're doing the kind of right things to ensure that's moving up on an upward trend, you can then kind of splurge a little outside at the same time, right?
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, and I think when I see people, especially people that are very savvy and switched on, like someone like Adam Sutherland, right? Like if he's got like $2 million in cars, it's a fair assumption he's probably doing a lot of other shit in the background that's at a much larger dollar value as that.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, no one would have a $2 million collection of cars if you don't have at least like a portfolio of 20 behind backing it somewhere. You know what I mean? If
You'd
not
think
more.
so, yeah.
And I'm sure he does. I mean, he lost $1 million on his property that he sold, and you know that was an $8 million property.
That was a nice property.
That was a very cool property. Very nice.
Yeah.
So with your property journey, did you kind of start to scale that up after you met Jack because you guys learn off each other, or did you kind of already start to grow it? You know, as you're building it, just kind of figuring it out. Because you mentioned your first one was not a good buy, right?
Yeah. So my first introduction to property would have been that one. So it was in Hurstville.
Yeah.
So I went with my mum to see an apartment that my auntie's friend was selling.
Yeah. The brand new ones?
No, it was a second hand. It was a good purchase.
Okay.
In hindsight, it was like one of those older units, like 3-bedroom, good size, and
that 3-bedroom, good size is already hard.
And I think at the time it was like 300 grand or something, right?
Yeah.
Let's assume something rather around that number, and I had the cash to essentially buy it outright.
Yeah.
And I chose the great idea of the Froyo shop instead. Then my mum wanted to rub it in and say, hey, she told you should have listened to me.
Did she buy that property?
No, she didn't.
She didn't.
But she showed me the sale of it selling again.
For like 800.
And it was like within a 2-month gap, and it sold for like 600, 700, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
And I then added the loss I made from the business plus the capital gain I could have made. And I was like, okay, well, property is something I should consider. When I had the Froyo shop, I had already purchased a property off the plan. That was my first. And
where was that one?
That's gonna be.
That's gonna be one. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it finished and then you moved out.
Yeah. So I listened to my mum this time. Unfortunately, the advice she gave me the second time round wasn't as good as the first.
Yeah.
The first was very good advice. I should have bought that second-hand apartment in Hurstville. The second time round, she said, you should buy a place you want to live in. And then I said, okay, well, my budget's 2 bits of fuck all because I had no money.
Yeah.
And I wanted to live near the city. I wanted to live in a brand new apartment. And there's this thing called off the plan, which you might have heard of, right?
Yeah. It's like 5K deposit, you can get the property.
And marketing is so good with these companies.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I remember this day very clearly because I bought it under very unusual circumstances. So I was still in kind of like my party phase. I went clubbing, and then I finished at like 4 or 5 a.m. And then the starting time of the launch of this project was like 7 a.m. So we went straight from the club with a few mates.
To the launch.
To the launch.
You must have smelled like alcohol, smelled like cigarette.
Probably wasn't in the right mind to make a sane decision, but I was still soberish, but I had alcohol in me. And they market so well, right? They put you in a position where it's like, you would know you're in e-commerce.
Yeah.
You've got the timer ticking, 20% off.
Yep.
20 people want to buy this. If you don't buy this, it's going
Only
up.
5 units left.
Only 5 units
Next
left.
phase is coming next week. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was there, and then I had a budget of like 650 grand. I wanted to get the first home buyers grant at the time, which is like 10 grand, 15 grand. And it was very limited. I was very tunnel vision. I wanted a new place. I wanted to get the grant. I wanted to be near the city. I wanted to be able to live in it.
Yeah.
And I bought a property that fit all that criteria. What I didn't think about was, is that property, in my opinion, going to make money in the long term? That wasn't even part of my consideration. So I bought it. Anyway, that property is worth pretty much what I paid for.
Still the same.
Still the same. Which means it's gone substantially backwards.
Yes.
I think I paid like 630. It's probably worth 630.
That's surprising considering Erskineville's been growing a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah, but when some of these new properties, like the fancy marketing is not free.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
You go there, there's like food, barista made coffee.
And they have a full showroom built
full
to spec.
showroom, built to spec,
Yeah.
that they tear down.
Yeah. Well,
Someone's
it's such a
paying
waste.
for that,
Yeah,
right?
That's 150 grand gone.
Yeah, so I think I paid more than what it was probably worth,
Yeah.
but then it kind of caught up slowly, and then it just hasn't really moved much, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that was my first purchase. That was not a good purchase. The second purchase I made was then, that was when I was working at the bank, so I got to see what clients were doing.
Oh,
and
smart.
I was in the East,
Yeah.
and I had clients that had $100 million portfolios.
Crazy.
And they would tell me, they're like, oh, I bought this house in Vaucluse for like 15 grand when I moved to Australia. And like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is 5 mil now, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
And they're like, oh, I bought this block of units in Bondi for like 100 grand and now it's like 20 mil or something.
You're just like, what the fuck?
I'm like, these numbers are like, I couldn't fathom it, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy land, right? That's what I'm going to do. So then I think I had a budget of like 600 grand again because I had saved up a bit of a deposit and I wanted to then buy a house and I wanted to buy in Sydney. And I essentially went on whatever it was back then, the real estate equivalent or domain, and I searched by like radius and I realized Penrith was where I wanted to buy. And I was also looking at Ingleburn, right? So essentially southwest Sydney. And I made another mistake. So
The title of this podcast is going to be like, learn
Mistakes,
from Jordan's fuck-ups.
Many fuck ups. So I would drive to Penrith every single weekend, and I would bring my mum. And I was like,
She was your real estate guru at the time, wasn't she?
and yeah, and like, you know, my mum's got the one property, still under mortgage, no property portfolio. She was the expert I was listening to. Right?
Yeah.
And anyway, we'd go to a house, and then I'd be like, yeah, this is a good house. And she'd be like, there's a crack on that wall. We can't buy this.
Oh, fuck.
And we'll go to another house the next weekend. And she like, that faces the roundabout, bad feng shui.
But yeah, the ghosts are coming into your house. That's
Nah.
it. Nah, no good.
And the market at the time was, in that area, was going crazy. Like each week, because I was on the ground and I was looking at like 6 to 10 properties every weekend.
Yeah.
Everything was selling above asking. And then I could see the average price essentially going up 10 grand.
When was this?
every
Like
week.
2018, 2017?
No, like 15,
Or
16.
2015? Yeah. That was that first property boom, wasn't it? That massive
There's
one.
been many in history,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the more recent
Like one of the
ones.
more recent, yes, property booms.
And I remember like I could have bought what I wanted for roughly, let's call it 4 to 450, pending block of land and all of that stuff. But because I was so picky, I didn't buy for 10 months.
Wow.
And the only reason I bought at the end was I think my mum wasn't feeling well. So I went by myself.
And you just went,
and I was just like, fuck it. I just want my weekends back. I'm sick. I could drive with my eyes closed to the Penrith. Like, 'cause I was going there so often. And I felt so shit when I bought it, I remember, because I bought this house in near South Penrith, and I was then like on the, like, you know, those news.com equivalent.
Yeah, yeah.
Record price paid for 3
Oh,
bedroom.
that was you.
So I was like, fuck.
Well, that's one way to get media.
I want to be on the opposite side, right? I want to be the guy selling.
Seller. You want to be the seller.
But I was the buyer.
Oh
and I was
my
like,
God.
fuck. And then I looked at like equivalent properties that were like 10 months ago, and I paid essentially like almost 100 grand more.
Fuck.
Lucky though, in hindsight, I'm so glad I bought it, because that property is now worth like 1.3, 1.4.
Yeah. Well, Penrith's gone absolute bananas.
Yeah,
now.
but at the time, it was a terrible idea, and I reckon if my mum was with me, I wouldn't have bought. I would have probably, like, I'd be buying today at 1.2, 1.3. So then what I realized was, I'm like, when I then went to buy my third property, I revalued Penrith and it had gone up.
Yeah.
And then in my mind, I was like, fuck, I paid the highest price and it's still gone up. Why did I not buy earlier?
When it was cheaper, yeah.
And the property condition wasn't perfect. Like, I bought it because I was just sick of looking at it.
Yeah.
Right? But I was like, I haven't had major complaints. Yes, I've had a few repairs and things like that. People still want to live there. And I think what I struggled with is, because I had bought my first as somewhere I want to live in, I was fixated on, would I live here? If I wouldn't live here, I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
And that, in my opinion now, is not the right mentality. It should be like, would someone live here and what would fair market rent be? So then what I did was, I was like, okay, the next property I'm going to buy, I'm going to try to remove myself from this emotional roller coaster that I put myself in. And at the time, because I was working at the bank, I was working pretty long hours, I wanted to have like some weekends. So I didn't want to go through this whole 10-month process to buy again.
Yeah.
And then the market had moved a bit and I had another 600 grand and I couldn't buy essentially what I wanted in Sydney. Like, I had to be really far out, right? I think. So then I wanted to buy in Brisbane. So then I went online doing all this searching and stuff, and I learned about this thing called a buyer's agent. It's the first time I had ever heard of it.
And that was very new back then. Now every man and their dog's a buyer's agent. Yeah.
It's a lot more common now, but back then, I guess
there was not many.
Not as many as there are today.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I engaged someone and I paid him like, I don't know, like 12, 15 grand, and he went and did all the legwork and he showed me all these pictures, photos, and he made all these suggestions. And I guess at that time, learning from my first two properties, I was like, look, you're the professional. This is my budget. This is my goal. And this time I had thought about why I was buying the property. I was like, I want to make money. That's the short answer of, I want to buy something that's going to grow in value.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the cash flow. I'm okay to put in extra. I want what you believe is going to give me maximum capital growth for the price point I can afford.
Yeah.
And he went and bought in some suburb that I had no idea of. And then I repeated that process twice with him, essentially. And for a period of time, those properties didn't move.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, they more than doubled. So those
That's
are now
crazy.
worth 3x. One of them's like a townhouse site, which if I develop it, like, he's made me a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the name of the suburb. It was like in some suburb that I've never heard of, because I've then been to Brisbane. When I looked at the photos, I'm like, no one's going to want to ever live here.
Yeah.
And they've been tenanted from day dot, and they've done extremely well. So then I realized, well, moving forward, this is how I'm going to buy property. So I didn't know Jack then, but every time I then got into a position where I had borrowing capacity, I would essentially go and buy. So I got to see what a lot of clients did. I was working in finance. I kind of knew how my numbers worked, and every time I had equity, I'd pull it out. Every time I had savings, I'd add it with the equity. Every time my business income was high enough and my personal income was high enough, I went and leveraged, right? And I just rinse and repeat until it kind of got to a certain level. And it did really well. Like I had properties that like kind of doubled in a couple years, and I was like, man, it takes so long to save $1 million. You're telling me I put down 400 grand and 3 years later it's worth 1.4. I'm like massive numbers that until you go through that process, especially if you're earning like a 100K salary, like it's life-changing money. So when I met Jack, I had no borrowing capacity, but I had a fair bit of cash because I had like equity that I pulled out. I think I was sitting on like a decent chunk. And I just said to him, I said, hey, if there's an opportunity where you have something we can do together and you need a bit of cash, I'm in, right? And what I kind of picked from Jack was I could see like just the way he thinks and the way he approached life. I'm sure you can. I'm confident. I can say, touch wood, very confident he's going to become a billionaire one day.
Yeah.
And if
Very,
you
very
know him
confident.
and if you're close to him, most people will agree. Just because of the type of person he is, the way he approaches life, the way he sees things, his kind of hustle, his work ethic, you just know, right?
Yeah.
And when I met him, I could see that straight away. Like when I met him, his business wasn't at the level it is now, but I could
When
tell.
did you meet Jack?
Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
So when Henderson just kind of just getting started.
Yeah, maybe like a year and a bit-ish. But he also, like, you could still tell, like...
He's switched on.
He's switched on,
Very,
right?
very.
And you could tell this is the kind of guy you want to surround yourself with, right?
Yeah.
So I said to him, like, hey, one day something comes up, let's do something. So I bought a few properties along the way, saved up the cash, and then, the last ones we did were the wedding venues.
Yeah.
Definitely not something I would do by myself. Extremely expensive, like between the two of them, it'll be like 20-something million.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's got the vision. He sees where it's going to be. Like I remember I went out to the property, the first one we bought, Settlers, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, are you sure people want to get married here?
Yeah. It looks great, but Settlers looks
Now it does.
Oh, it looks awesome now. Yeah.
So he saw that probably when we bought it.
And it looked like shit before, didn't it?
It was okay, but like I couldn't picture what it is now, right?
Yeah, right.
But I knew he wouldn't go and put money down on something that he didn't believe in.
Yeah.
So I guess I didn't believe more so in the site, but I believed in him.
In the vision,
right?
yeah.
In the person
Yeah.
behind the vision. So I was like, okay, I know this guy's going to do well. He knows what he's talking about. If he believes it'll work, I'm in.
Yeah.
Right. And it's obviously paid off. And it's the same mentality these days. So like if he lets me know, he's like, hey, we're looking at this other one. I don't really spend the time looking at what we're looking to do.
Is that second one between you and him as well? Or is that
Yeah.
second together?
Yeah,
That second one
together.
looks pretty cool too. It's like a lodgy feel, right? The new one, the one that you
Minimba
guys...
house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lodge.
It's like 40 bedrooms or something. I'm
Oh,
thinking,
that's
I'm
crazy.
like, who builds a house with 40 bedrooms? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, they've done really well, and I think maybe like how I also now see it is the more properties you have, unfortunately, the more headaches come along. And I can't fathom how like some of these guys out there have like hundreds, 200s, 300s, because things break, and then like you got property managers emailing you, hey, you got to do this,
And then
this
you're like,
tenant's
fuck, I
vacating,
gotta pay this shit,
you got to pay this,
that.
pay that. So I actually don't want to have
Massive.
I want to have a large dollar value portfolio,
Yeah.
but I don't want to, I've got no aspirations of having 100 proproperties, 200 properties. If I could redo it, which I obviously can't because at the time I couldn't afford these properties, I would rather have like, $5 $10 million properties than like a few 500Ks, 1 millions and things like that. And I genuinely don't think you need to have that many properties to do well in property, as long as you buy well and obviously if it's performing and as long as you can cash flow it. Like I have clients, they have 3 properties, 1 massive commercial. It kind of pays for generations of cash flow.
Yeah.
Big trophy home and like a block of units or something, and they do really well.
Yeah.
And then I've got other clients that are like, oh, I've got 20 properties, and then you run the values, they're like worth $200,000 each. And I'm like, you can't even buy a house you want to live in if you sold all of them, right? So I feel that's like almost like a badge people say. They're like, oh, I've got 10 properties. And you're like, fuck.
Because that's what I hear. You hear that all the time. And this is good coming from the broker's perspective, right? Because people hear that all the time. They're like, yeah, I got 45 properties. And then you go and look, where are the properties? In the middle of fucking Adelaide, 250K each, 300K each. And then you got the guy who goes, yeah, I only got 3. And they're like $10 million properties each. And that's worth more than the 45.
Yeah.
It's
and also
crazy.
you want to look at the leverage as well. Like you could have 40 properties, but if you're at, 80, 90% on all of them and then they're worth 200 something K each, you could be worse off than like the person that's got one owner paid off in terms of a net wealth position, right? So,
and if something breaks in those 45, your margins just go ooh, all the way to nothing.
And I also think like unfortunately, like logically speaking, the lower the value of the property, it attracts a certain level of tenant,
clientele,
right? And you get to a certain stage where if you go too low, unfortunately, those type of tenants are not the most pleasant to deal with.
Yeah.
And even if you've got professionals that do it for you, like you pay someone a management fee and stuff, you still got to make decisions, all right, from time to time. And yeah, like imagine you had 100 properties and something breaks you're constantly making decisions on like what you want to
fix
do
it and waste time and energy and effort.
That doesn't appeal to me, I guess.
No, I agree. I mean, same thing with this. Like, this is a really sad story. It only happened a couple of months ago. So we have a family friend that owns a property here in Lincoln, all right, and then he got stabbed to death by his tenant. I don't know. It would have been on the news. He went to do an inspection and then he got stabbed to death.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, fucking wild. Because he didn't want to go. He cheaped out on a property manager. So he went to chase up money himself and he got stabbed to death.
There you go.
Fucked up.
Pay the 5%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah.
It's tax deductible anyway.
Exactly, it's fucked up. And they make very good money. I know how much they make. They make very good money as well.
Right.
So it's like,
so you didn't need to save on that 5%.
You didn't need to save that 5%. But I guess that's old Asian mentality, right? But yeah, got fucking stabbed. And it's literally just around the block. It's fucking sad as.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, guys, I mean, property is an interesting game, right? But your clientele or your tenants... As long
as you don't get stabbed.
Your tenants are still very important to have a good relationship. Like, I want to respect that my tenant is paying for my, that's paying rent. But also at the same time, like, I want to grow, I want to do this, but also respect that they're another human being that's renting your property. And what type of human being can afford certain things is also different levels to that as well.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So what do you think's next for you then? I mean, big property portfolio is pretty good. You've got your nice cars, you've got a nice watch, you've got a very nice Patek on as well. Did you get that recently? New or?
Nah, I bought it 5 years ago, four.
Oh, wow.
Years ago. Yeah. 3 years ago.
That's good.
My memory on time is very blurry.
Doesn't matter. You look at numbers every day. Are you into your watches too?
I do. I like my watches. I'm trying to buy one now. And
what are you trying to get?
Another Patek. And I'm also on the fence. I'm like, I could put this 200 grand.
Yeah, it's true. But you really like the rubber strap. The Aquanaut style?
Well, this was, I prefer the Nautilus.
Yeah.
If I got to choose out of two, if I got to choose, I'd have both. But at the time...
Did you get it at retail?
No, I wish.
Grey market.
I was in Japan and I wanted the Nautilus and it was like 140.
Yeah.
And I think in my bank account, I had like 100. And I was like, I could put this on an Amex and I'll pay for it next month.
Yeah.
But I don't know, this voice inside me was like, look, if I'm buying something that's for personal joy, I guess it's not a bad investment, but
it's a great investment. A Patek is always a good investment.
It's not a bad investment, but there could be worse things you spend money on. But I didn't see it as like an investment. I still saw it as I'm buying something for like personal joy, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to pay cash, not put it on credit. And I got one of those, Amexes where you can buy like whatever you want.
Yeah,
right?
same, right? Like it's a charge card. Yeah. With your charge card, it's pretty fucked if you don't control yourself.
So I was like, fuck, should I just tap it? And I was like, nah, actually, I'm going to go pay cash. So I didn't have the extra 40 at the time. But then my friend, who was actually messaging me this morning, funny you talk about the watch, he offered me a watch, I think it was like 160, brand new, 2023, the Nautilus I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I said to him, I'm like, I don't have the money. It's a bit too expensive. And then now that I'm kind of in the market, I messaged him and I look back at the chat and he sent me a video of the watch. That same watch is like 220 now.
Yeah.
So I was like,
it's gone up 60K.
Maybe I should. But this went up too.
That would have gone up. Every Patek goes up. If you get it at the right price, they all go up.
So I think it's just one of those mentalities, right? You're like, what if? Or in hindsight, obviously everything's
not a bad investment. I mean, 90% of Rolexes will only go up, as they say. Same thing with Pateks and APs. If you buy them at the right price or you buy them at retail, you're going to make money.
Retail's a no-brainer, but I guess
it's the grey market.
Like
you've given up.
I've given up. Yeah.
No, as if you should be able to get some good watches nowadays by just how you rock up, how you dress, and what you're already wearing. You should be able to get retail.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon. Especially if you're overseas, for sure. If you walk into the Malaysian Patek or AP, you'll probably be able to get one.
Maybe.
Yeah. AP
maybe.
for sure. I don't think we even have an AP dealer here in Sydney yet. I don't think.
I don't know. Now my view
try.
is like, if I need to go and have 15 coffees with this one guy.
Yeah.
I'd rather just go work and I'll just go pay.
Yeah. Which is fair enough.
A different view. Yeah.
It's different view. The time investment versus money. I always like to say to my friends, it's like you either try to spend time to save money or you spend money to save time, and it's up to you. Whichever one you have, right? If you have time, go spend it. If you have money, go spend it. You're gonna die and you're gonna have neither. You're gonna have neither anyway. So
Yeah, that's true.
that's good. All right, well, getting towards the end of the potty today. I want to ask this question to you before we kind of share who you are and all of your socials and whatever for people to follow and where to find you for finance. But this is a question, right? And I ask everyone this question. Jack's answer was very interesting too. But in terms of life, I see it as a game, right? And we mentioned this already, like, it's the game of life. And in every game when we're young, we used to try to find cheat codes, try to accelerate our success, try to, be invincible, right? In all these failures that you've gone through, all these mistakes, all these fuck-ups, and you've mentioned quite a few today. If you went back to 20-year-old Jordan or 18-year-old Jordan, and you went, okay, cool, I'm 37 now, you're 18, I've got 20 years ahead of you, right? So it's like if you went back to yourself, 17, 18 years old, and you went, hey, this is the one thing you need to focus on to get you to where I am today. We're going to have, net wealth, $50 million. We're going to have that. But it's going to take you 20 years. How do we cut that time in half? What would you tell them?
Ooh. Think bigger, definitely, would be one. And don't be afraid to take risk, because end of the day, we all end up in the same place, like you said. And things usually work out, and if they don't work out, it's not the end. And I think maybe when I was younger, I was so focused on what would happen if this doesn't go well. What's that person going to think? What's my mum going to think? What are my friends going to think? That it then really delayed the execution of stuff. And I think it's still something I still struggle with. And I think if you look at a lot of successful people, and I'm sure you've heard of from a lot of people, like speed to execution is massive. And I think I spent too much time trying to think about how do I get this perfect before I start. And by doing that, it delayed how long I started. Except for the froyo, I probably should have put more thought into that one.
That was a very, very quick speed to execution.
All other things, apart from the froyo, which I absolutely don't regret. I feel that was that. I regret going to university because I felt I didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
But I don't regret losing $500,000 on the froyo because I feel it taught me so many fundamentals that I now very much use in my day-to-day.
I feel like that was the catalyst to your current success, to be honest. You use a lot of it as lessons.
I think, like I said, if you go to work knowing you're going to lose money and you hated what you did, then you suddenly found something you enjoyed what you did. Working's a joy, right? And I think because I had that contrast, it very much helped. But all other things post-froyo, maybe because the froyo was such a disaster, I felt I would dwell on the decision way too long and my speed to execution could have been a lot faster. For example, leaving the bank, realistically, I should have done it after 12 months rather than after 4 years.
Yeah.
And the reason I didn't do it that fast is because I was scared, right? I was like, well, what if the same thing happens and I've finally got a bit more cash, I finally get to live life a bit, and what if I put myself in another hole, right? But I think, the advice to my younger self would be, things will be okay, and just be willing to give it a shot, and things will just generally pan out, just have faith that life will be all right, and if it's not all right, we all die anyway. Like
it's true. Very true.
You may as well play the game that you want to play, right? Like if we're all going to die, choose the character you want to be.
Very true.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true, very true. I think that's very powerful stuff. I think, it's not easy. I guess when we're younger, we don't have as much hindsight, right? And that's the fear. It's like, what's that black space looking like in front of us? Which is fair enough. Okay, cool. Well, where do people find you? And if someone wants you to be their broker, where do people reach you?
That's good.
Do you want them to find you on Insta? Or just go straight to the website?
Website, insightfinance.com.au, Instagram, Jordan Beh.
Easy as.
Yeah. Or you can Share my phone number. I'm
Oh, yeah, done. Shoot me a message.
Shoot us
I'll claim a referral fee.
Go to Alan.
That's it. Perfect, guys. Well, thank you for joining us on another episode. This is Jordan, and I hope you guys learnt a lot of lessons. Fantastic.
Thank you, Alan.
I hope you have enjoyed that episode of Point 01. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow along on all our socials at Point 01 Podcast to watch all of the shorts again. We release an episode every single week, and we hope you will join us as we continue to explore the minds of those who make up the 0.01%. Until next time, keep hustling. I'm your host, Alan Fu. I'll see you on the next episode.